joining us now live. Dr. Wright, thanks for being with us here on TRT World. So how would you describe all of that the European Union has to deal with right now?
Good afternoon, Kamali. Thank you very much for having me on the programme. There's always a lot for the EU to deal with at these big European Council summits. And over the last few years, it seemed like there's just been a series of crises. So it's unsurprising that COVID and the economic recovery are high on the agenda, and also the efforts to address the climate crisis. And I think the issue with Poland, the spat over the rule of law in Poland, that is an agenda item that most EU leaders would very much like not to be there, but they are going to have to address that over the next couple of days.
Let's pick up first on the Poland issue, Dr. Wright. It would seem as if a fight over the supremacy of law and which laws take precedent goes right to the heart of the purpose of the European Union. So this could be really destabilising if they don't resolve this properly.
Absolutely. I mean, the supremacy of EU law is a long-standing legal principle. It's also in the treaties. So when a state such as Poland joins the European Union, it does so fully in the knowledge that this is how things are. I mean, the EU is first and foremost a legal order. And so this kind of legal challenge by the Polish Constitutional Tribunal is very problematic. I think the Commission President Ursula von der Leyen talked about how this could potentially unravel the whole EU legal order. So it is a very serious issue and one that needs to be resolved. However, how it's going to be resolved is it's not necessarily that clear. The European Union has a number of instruments at its disposal. For example, it has this recently agreed mechanism whereby payments by the EU to member states can potentially be suspended if a state is seen to be in breach of its rule of law commitments. However, how that would play out in practice, the ability to actually implement that in practice, is not clear. Meanwhile, for the Poles, it's quite hard to see how they can row back from their current position, which is essentially a domestic political issue that has really blown up in their faces over the last few years. And this ruling earlier this month about the supremacy of Polish law over EU law in certain contexts has, I think, got way beyond where they thought it would be, and has become a significant problem in Poland's relations with its EU partners.
Yeah, a really tricky one. I wonder if they'll just kick it down the road a bit and not deal with it in the next couple of days. Now, the migration issue then, Dr. Wright, of course, we saw huge numbers of people coming into Europe in 2015. Where do you see European nations on trying to deal with migration right now? We've seen the British government trying to get tougher with France. We've seen fences being built on various parts of the eastern frontier. So where are we with the idea of migration in Europe right now, do you think?
It remains problematic, and I think that most member states are really hoping that it will not reach anything like the same level as it did a few years ago. And obviously, the agreement between the European Union and Turkey was a very important moment in how the EU sought to manage that. There remains significant divisions and splits within the European Union between member states about how best to deal with it. The European Commission has proposed significant plans to try and resolve that, but it comes down to the member states' willingness on their part to be able to take in refugees and migrants and to be able to provide support to those states that are seen, if you like, as being in the front line of big movements of people. Particularly here, we're thinking about Greece, we're thinking about Italy, we're thinking about Spain, and the need for other member states to show solidarity. And that remains a key sticking point. And whether the EU can move forward from that, that's going to be one of the issues that I think will be certainly under consideration in the next couple of days, but also over the longer term.
Absolutely right. Okay, we'll see what comes out of that meeting for the next few days. Dr. Nicholas Wright, appreciate your expertise, sir. Thanks for being with us.